Jerell Gant, Imitation by Jerell. You can catch me on all social media. Imitation by Jerell. Catch my Etsy shop, the same name. And I love supporting Black art. I hope you guys love supporting Black art. Thank you guys for continuing with me on my journey. I appreciate it.
Studio Q Show. Now you know.
Here we go. Yes, yes. The man behind the brush. What is happening? How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Man, I'm good now that I got to talk to, hear your voice. Because, we just see the hand.
Right.
We see the table.
Right. All the
we see the head pieces, the shoes, the pieces.
Gosh, that's far back. But thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes, yes. So my name is Quencie Thomas. I'm the founder and host of Studio Q, where I interview amazing people like my man right here, Jarrell, in the building. And is it Gant? How do you pronounce your last name?
Gant, yes. Gant.
Awesome, awesome. So I just want to get started. I want to, find out about your journey from beginning, because I saw a post on your page. I did a deep dive on your Instagram.
Gotcha.
And I saw a post of where you talked about a picture of Martin Luther King that your aunt had saved forever, that you did like in kindergarten.
Yeah.
And seeing that versus what you were able to do so many years later is just a show of growth. Yeah. Talk about the beginning years of you being a Black artist.
Oh my gosh. Well, I don't really think there was a time that I could remember that I did not want to be an artist or have some type of creativity. Let my family tell it that I was drawing and painting and all of that before I could, talk and walk and, do all. That's what they said. Now, I don't know how true that is. But as far back as I can remember, yes, creative juices and art has always been my life. And I think around the time I was about 6 years old, we were drawing in class, and actually the bottom of it said I wanted to be a preacher. I couldn't kind of spell it right, but we were learning about Martin Luther King. I thought that was what I was supposed to do.
Well, you did say if you didn't go into art, you do comedy. So I gotta know that some of these things you say ain't gonna be jokes.
That's because I'm a fool. But as far as being an artist, it's always been my pathway. I always knew that I wanted to do art in some capacity. Growing up, I was always in art classes, art school, different genres of art. And it was encouraged by a lot, but it was discouraged by a lot as well, I have to be honest. Because as a Black person, a Black man, that's not really the field of choice. We don't really see too many prominent artists in our communities. So I don't really think the naysayers, the teachers or family that were trying to discard that path were necessarily trying to do anything bad, but they were just trying to protect me. However, I just had to follow my heart and follow my creative path. So I went to Savannah College of Art and Design in Savannah, Georgia. I studied fashion. Didn't pan out fashion, even though I do have a love for fashion. I always wanted to pick up the paintbrush. So about 4 years ago, I picked up the paintbrush again after not doing it for so long. Kind of panned out into what I'm doing now.
Well, that's a short synopsis. I mean, first of all, 4 years ago, you just picked it back up. How long had you put it down?
It was a long time. From going to school and not being able to finish what I thought that I wanted to finish. I thought that I was going to be the next Oscar de la Renta,
Okay.
But my budget was not Oscar de la Renta. More like, wait. So, after being discouraged and having to take, just a regular route of regular jobs, just the average citizen, I was at my job just thinking like, I can't do this anymore, And so my creative Jones was always there. I was always doing things creatively, different things creatively, but not necessarily painting, physically painting until about 4 years ago. I just, let me just start it again.
Well, I saw a post where you talked about 2017
Yeah.
May of 2017 when you got let go from a job and you stepped out on faith. So since you talked about working regular jobs, you've obviously kept that light lit. Talk about that moment and the years thereafter.
Man, it was crazy because I was, I hate to say I sound so crazy. I was let go from a few jobs, long-term jobs, which is crazy. But the reasons why I were let go, it wasn't anything like I was stealing or, anything, major. It was always like a step. And I would look back like, okay, what is this trying to teach me? But I came from the family is like, okay, you got to put a roof over your head. You got rent to pay. So, okay, we can do this creative stuff, but still, So after that last one, I really, really thought that first day that I was terminated, I was like, okay, literally about to type in Indeed.com. And I said, okay, God, if I can do this art thing for 1 month, just 1 month, then I won't visit Indeed. I'm going to put this off. 1 month turned into 3 months, turned into a year, turned into 4 or 5 years now.
Wow. What did it feel like after that 1 to 3 months, like in that area? Like,
I felt ridiculously dumb because I'm like, I was not trusting God the whole time. I could have been doing it. I know he's looking at me like, okay, I tried to tell you the first job, but you want to believe me, so I had to get you fired. So
he was waiting on you.
Right? So, you just have to trust your journey and trust your path. But it felt really fulfilling. And it felt very purpose driven. Like, okay, I thought that I found my niche before. And I was like, this is it. Oh, okay. It took me a while, but this is it.
And with the videos, I feel like you're famous for these videos that you created with the hand and then the table. Tell me where that idea birthed from and what has been your response to,
oh my God.
I mean, every time you post, it seems like it gets sold in 2 seconds. So
it's crazy. I really didn't intend on doing anything specific with it. I think my first table was Erykah Badu. And I just wanted to show love to her because I like showing love to the legends that have helped me in my creativity. Like a lot of people they think that artists just come out the, woodworks, and it's not all me. It's, the music that I'm listening to, the vibes, the culture, the TV that I'm watching, the videos and all of that. So I just wanted to say, hey, happy birthday, Erykah Badu. How you doing, girl? And so I was kind of over making paintings on canvas. So I was like, okay, what is something different? So I was like, okay, a table. I do tables. Let me do a table. And the response from it was outrageous. I hate to say the word viral, but I'm like, this is viral. Okay.
Yes.
All
no.
right.
Yes.
From there, it kind of snowballed into doing just, paying homage to the people that make me and make my art. And they may not even know it, because people think that art is just subjectively about creativity. But, I was a 90s hip hop kid, R&B lover. So all of these things that influenced me, I just want to put it into my art and give love back to them. So all the people that have come back and said, thank you, from Indy Reed to Jill Scott to Monica, Snoop, and all of these people reposting and tagging and liking and even collecting some of them. It was like, okay, this is a lot, but I appreciate it, and I'm giving you your flowers just like you're giving me mine. So.
Oh, I mean, you got some flowers. I mean, Erykah Badu followed you. Like, what was that day like? Because you posted about that too. Like,
okay, well, Erykah Badu had followed me a couple years prior.
Right.
And I was not. I was like, okay, this guy. I think I was asleep, and I woke up checking Instagram, and I'm like, no, this has to be a fake. I went to her page. I went to verify. I'm looking for the like. Because I still to this day, even as I appreciate it, as talented as people want to think that I am, I can't imagine little old me, people following little old me.
Little old you, like you are making art that is just, they're like collectibles, pieces, one of a kind pieces. And I saw that you had said, I made it to the shade room. I'm no longer the Susan Lucci. For those of you guys who have no idea who Susan Lucci is because you're too young, she was Erica Kane on one of the soaps, and always nominated, but never won until like a million years later. She finally got it.
It's hard to get a art, but especially Black art, to the masses. And I think our people, our culture has been robbed so much. You know, we get beg, borrow. And so when we do create art, the next thing you'll know is you'll see like an Asian manufacturer or something else that's not Black owned recreating our stuff, or even just blatantly plagiarizing it. So when we get our own pedestal and are brought to the forefront and say, hey, look at this Black artist on something that's not necessarily a artistic platform or artistic page, it's pretty big. I know it seems kind of minuscule to some, but it's pretty big. And the accepting of the art, and you not have to dance or I ain't a TikToker. I can't do the name, do all that. So, for people to accept it on this forefront without me having to do all of that is just a blessing. So.
It is, but your work, like you so humble. I mean, like that hand. Come on now, like first of all, I don't know how you paint and can't see. Like, what is going on with that? I don't understand that. That's just beautiful. How is that happening?
Thank you. Well, I'm looking into my phone, so I can see it on the reflection, but I can't see, of course, my hand. So it's just kind of like, if it turns out the way it turns out. Some of them, I appreciate y'all support, but some of them have been misses.
But it don't matter because you ain't posting them. Whatever. That's for that's for the drafts.
Just support it. They're posting. I'm like,
yeah, that's your standard. We talking about our standard.
Standard of myself, and I appreciate that you guys. I have the most amazing followers and supporters. They rock with me through any and everything from way back, and even the things that I don't think that I particularly care for, they are diehard lovers of it. So I can be nothing but grateful and appreciative of that.
What brings you the most joy in doing? Is it like, making a portrait with glass? Is it, painting a table? Like what is it?
It really is all of it. I'm about to do something that's completely different soon, and that's bringing me all types of joy just even thinking about it, and I haven't really put it into fruition yet. So my mediums vary, but I think it's the joy that I can change mediums, not to toot my horn or be braggadocious, but when
toot I'll toot it for you.
No, when I follow other creatives and other artists, especially on media, I see that they necessarily stay in one lane, and I'm like, I can't do that. I can't do. Even if I tried, I can't do that. So if it's mixed media glass, if it's furniture, whatever it is, I'm going to always switch it up, and I'm going to try my hardest to be successful at it.
Well, that's what I loved when I was looking over your stuff, is that you do shoes, you did headpieces, you did body art on people's backs. Like, what was that? Was that like an event?
It was finding my way into my space. Right now, I feel very comfortable with my creativity and what I am now. But I think that was me not wanting to paint on canvas, but me wanting to paint. So anything that God was just trying to, okay, a shoe, bruh, really? All right. A body, bruh. All right. So I was painting, but he was basically trying to tell me, he, she, him, whatever, was trying to
get them pronouns right. It's Pride Month.
As long as but I just wasn't getting the message as clear as I thought I should have been. And so all the different mediums, even though they were exerting my creativity, whether it was shoes, whether it was body art that I did for a while, or avant-garde headpieces or anything like that, it was just something that I had to do to get my energy out. At that time, I was still working. I don't want to even say 9 to 5 because my hours were crazier than that. But, still working a job and doing that part-time. So I had to do something to get creativity. That's what it was. And that kind of parlayed me. Everything I did was kind of a stair step into what I do now.
Yeah. What growth are you most proud of when you look back?
I'm just proud of growth, period.
Growth.
I'm really just proud of growth because even the stuff that I see me doing 5 years ago, I'm like, okay, you know, for some reason I go back around to the things that I do unknowingly. Like I think my latest post was Michael Jackson, and I did a Michael Jackson piece maybe about 4 years ago that I did at a show. At that time, I thought that was everything, you know.
Yeah.
4 years ago, you can't keep this. And 4 years ago, I'm like, bruh.
God said, watch this.
Yeah,
watch this.
Like, hold my beer, like for real. So, you know, it was just any type of growth within me I can look, because, you know, I do see a lot of creatives, they get stagnant. That's what a lot of people don't really understand about creativity. A lot of creative they hit that block and they can't move from it. And sometimes it takes days, sometimes it takes years for people. But fortunately for me, thank God, I don't really have that, because I have so many different sources of mediums. If one ain't hitting, then another's, you know, going to pick up somewhere. So it's always going to be something. So I'm just appreciative of growth in general. Just
period. What are some obstacles that you had to overcome to get to where you are, you know?
Money.
Because money.
Well, yes, I'm not just, but obstacles of being not only an artist, because that's not regular. That's not your cashier, that's not your business manager, even though we are business managers. That's not
you're a whole businessman.
Ooh, I had to learn that the hard way. But that's not what you would think about when you are, you know, going to school. That's not. I went to the art school. I wanted to go to the HBCU, but
I went to Clark.
See,
graduate.
I wanted that experience, but I went to Savannah College of Art and Design. I went to SCAD. Every now and then we sneak over to Savannah State. They didn't like us. But they thought we didn't. At least I did not.
No.
But, you know, that was some of the challenges of being an artist, and not only being an artist, but being a Black artist in particular. I know I spoke earlier about just our culture being robbed left and right.
Yeah.
Especially I witnessed it during last year. It's insane. During the whole Black Lives Matter movement, our Black creatives just came out of the woodworks. So beautiful. But what hurt me is that I would turn around and look on these different shops and look on Facebook Marketplace and all of these ads, and it would be shops of non-color basically stealing our art. So that's really been one of the hardest things of being an artist, is being a Black artist. It's crazy that everything that we do as Black people, no matter what field we go into, we got to label Black on top of that to add a little bit of harshness to it. So being an artist is, you know, a task in itself, but being a Black artist, it's like, okay, but it's the joy too within it, because we get to push through it and put all of that pain into our creativity, into our art. It's beautiful.
You've been getting so much love. You dope as fuck. You're great. You're amazing. You're so talented. So I just want to make sure I acknowledge the love coming in.
All these people. Oh, hey, people.
Yes. I mean, we see your work everywhere. You talk about one viral thing, but you just named a million people, you know, sharing your stuff with millions of followers of Black icons that we have all grown up with. I saw that Ashanti's sister had purchased a portrait of her that you did. Talk about that a little bit.
Am I back?
You're back. I don't know if it was my Wi-Fi or your Wi-Fi, but you're back.
You know what? I'm trying to flip up. Like, I don't want to respond to this email because I can't see. I'm seeing like half of your face. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
My apologies.
It's all good. I was just giving you the love that was in the comments.
I appreciate it. Because I'm trying to see the comments and I can't see them. Like, yeah.
But I think the last thing I asked you had to do with Ashanti.
Oh yeah, that was crazy because, you know, her sister ordered something specifically for her birthday, and it was just insane. That I'm like, okay, all right, let's look at it. You know, you know, I'm not that old, but I grew up listening to Ashanti like everybody else. So I'm like, you know, the celebrities that, you know, I would never think of that know my name come back and personally say they wanted something from me. I'm just like, it's just unreal. So Ashanti's was a real blessing. I think I did 2 pieces for her, and she showed me so much love to it. So it's crazy. I'm still getting used to it.
Brandy and Monica, come on now. Not The Boy Is Mine. Not you didn't meet both of them. Versus what?
First of all right, if you know anybody that knows me knows that I've had a love affair of Brandy since I've been 9 years old. She is the vocal Bible. Okay, so she commented, I'm like, oh, that's nice. And then she followed me, and I'm like, somebody pick me up off this. First of all, don't be following me if you're a celebrity, because I might like DM you like a fool because I'm still a fan. I'm like, you know, like, so when you sang this on this song, what did that? It's still on my mind. It's blowing my mind. So, yeah, I'm just blessed and grateful because, you know, artists are hit or miss. You know, a lot of artists don't get that viral moment or get that, you know, elevated type of shine. And I was that for a while. Hell, I'm still that for a while.
You still that.
You know, I'm still that. So I don't really take it for granted when, you know, the celebrities come, because I love my followers, my supporters, my customers, my collectors. I love them so much. I have people that have collected with me for years, and I've had people that collected one piece. I've had people that haven't had a chance to collect anything, but they've been following me from the jump. Gotta change that. You know, they're like, you know, Jarrell, I followed you on your journey since you just got on social media. I appreciate you. I pray for you all the time. And, you know, just those little things just really...
because they're really big. Having people pray for you and your journey, like, that's big. I've
had, you know, lately, because of social media, your social media family is almost bigger, you know, than your regular family. I'm away from my family. So I'm always long distance, so I can't see them all the time or talk to them all the time.
So you're not from Atlanta?
No. I thought I was. You could have told me back in 2002 that I was not from Atlanta, but I am not. No, I moved to Atlanta about 11 years ago. I'm born in Washington, D.C. That's where all my family is. And
wow. You really just kicked D.C. to the curb.
No. I don't want Northeast to come at me. Okay?
Because they will.
Please
They
don't.
got that type of energy.
Okay, first of all, I've always felt like a DC transplant because my mom moved us from DC when I was really young. Okay. And I have 2 older brothers, so they moved back to DC. They're like, what is North Carolina? Get us up out this country. So, you know, I'm stuck in North Carolina, which was a beautiful place. Shout out to Greenville, North Carolina, Vegas. You know, it was a beautiful place to live, but just not a great place for me, the creative, to stay. But as far as my home, DC will always be my home. Mm-hmm. I always love mambo song. Just don't like go-go.
I am not. Oh my God! I spent the summer in DC. I was not a fan of go-go.
You know what? My brothers love my middle brother, rather I should say, love go-go so much. And he pounded it through our head, and they would always remake our favorite songs. I'm like, you can't remake "The Boy Is Mine" and a go-go.
They will try. What do you mean?
The boy. I was like, nah, pause on that. So. But I will always love my chocolate city. I always go back home. I was supposed to go back home next week, but hopefully I'll go there very, very soon. So DC is always going to be home for me.
Yeah, they definitely like. I'm from Illinois, so you know Chicago house music. I'm not a fan of the house music. I'm not a fan of the go-go, and you know, and people who are go-go fans, they are diehards. People who love house, they are diehards.
Life. Okay, they don't care. Okay, they still listening to Chuck Brown. They don't care, and I appreciate that.
I do too.
All right for that, but you know that just wasn't my thing with it. But
Atlanta has a special place
always wanted to. I love Atlanta music. I love TLC. That was my first, like, you know, your first group that you're obsessed with. That was my killer. So I learned everything about their culture and everything about Atlanta culture. And visited Atlanta on a field trip when I was about 10. And I was like, okay, I'm coming back here. Some way I'm coming back here.
Wow.
And so I went to school in Savannah. It's kind of close, not really, but as soon as I got the opportunity, I got to move to Atlanta. I was like, okay.
Hey, I had some great times in Atlanta because I went to Clark. I went to HBCU. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you know.
Yes, I do. I stayed at Morehouse the first semester just hanging out. I was like, really? It's this many guys with this different look? Okay, like you got dread, you got a bald head, you light, you dark.
Atlanta is a state within itself. Like,
it is.
It really is a state within itself. I don't really go out as much as I did when I first moved here because, you know, I don't want to get shot. It's beautiful nonetheless.
And you said you were obsessed with TLC initially, right? And I think I seen a picture with you and T-Boz and Chili. Yeah. So, like, you've gotten to meet some of your musical heroes. Like, what was that like?
It's crazy because, you know, as a kid, you always want to meet, you know, I wish I could meet so-and-so. I wish I could meet Whitney Houston. You know.
Excuse me. That was me. That's who I'm obsessed with.
And see, I know I saw your story. I saw yours. So, you know, just all of those musical icons and actors and actresses that you wish you could meet, and they influence you so much. And to think that my creativity is the one that got me in the door. So, okay, well, I have a painting or a jacket for T-Boz, and then their stylist was like, okay, you're coming backstage. And I was like, lead the way. It was just like, you know, all of these things that I can do, just paying back to them just the same way that I'm doing now, is just paying homage to them. Yes. And the fact that they are appreciative of it and they really love my work. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, it's only a fraction of what I can give back to you. So I appreciate that.
That sounded like an Oprah statement when she had her Legends. No, seriously, she had a Legends ball. She gave everybody like diamond earrings and this, you know, this 3-day, it was years ago. Yeah. But her response was very much like yours, which was, this is only a fraction of what I can give back to what you have given me just through your art. Definitely.
I met with, I hate to be bringing personal stories. I met with India Arie's mom recently. And I'm like, here, this is for India. This is for you. And she's trying to give me stuff because she's sweet as I don't know what.
Oh, wow. You had an India Arie mama moment. Wow.
Like I'm meeting folks' mamas now. And I'm like, okay, that's a little crazy, but I'm going to deal with it. I'm going to go with it. And she's just as beautiful as can be. She's India Arie's stylist. Not stylist, her designer. And has been,
yes. She's been making some dresses for a while.
Stuff, and I'm trying to give her stuff. And we just... So it's just blowing my mind.
I love that, though. That just means the hearts are right for each other. You know what I mean? You're meeting good people that they want to give you and you're giving them, and it's just a love fest.
Yeah, it's a love fest, and it just, you know, proves the favor of God and how far he's brought me, because I was working those jobs. You know, I was working those jobs and just, Lord, when I get off this job, I'm going to do something creative, you know, and it wasn't fulfilling enough. It wasn't what I was supposed to be doing at all. And I was watching Steve Harvey back when he had a TV show, talk show. And someone was asking him, I think this young lady was trying to start a child care center, but she worked in the field of fast food. And she said, Steve, how do I transition? Because I need to pay my rent, but I just can't seem to find the break. This is not what I want to do. My heart is in childcare. And he basically said, okay, look, when you have squirted your last piece of mustard on that bun, when you squirted that last ketchup, when you flip that last burger, then you'll know that enough is enough and you'll know how to transition. Now, I wasn't smart enough to do that.
You needed a little help. God gave you
a little help. because you know my rent is nice. Food is nice. Crab legs are amazing.
Yes.
So I need to.
Lights are nice.
Every now and then you might need a light. So I need to have that in order to sustain. And I really didn't have any ideas of creatives that were successful around me, which is crazy because I went to school with creatives.
Yes.
And sadly, at that time, the school that I went to did not pair us for success.
Okay.
It gave us all the tools for creativity. Okay, this is how you do it. Okay, but how do I parlay this into a business? You on your own. So, you know, we had to learn that the hard way. My best friend and I, we kind of paled through together, just bumping doors, just trying to open windows, and it just wasn't hitting. But what would hit for her, okay, well, let me come in there with you. What would hit for me, okay, let me. And so trying to find that merge between creativity and business, it's crazy. And I've learned throughout my journey that it's actually more business than creativity.
Yes. I mean, the business of everybody you even spoke of is bigger than the 10 minutes they are on stage.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. So I know that, and I know, you know, me being a music head or, you know, a Hollywood head, I can see the backstory behind it. You know, I loved India Ari so much because she went to school. She went to my school, Savannah. And so much, her music so much that I studied where she went. I even stayed in the same dorm room. I'm like, it worked.
Wow.
Worked for me. Right?
I love that.
So,
did she freak out when you told her like you went to the same school? Like, that's dope.
It's crazy. I met her at that school because she's so down to earth. Like when she rides her bike in the video, she really be riding her bike in real life. So I met her when I was going to work one day in Savannah as she was riding her bike through the park. And I was like, that's India Ari. And I was like, okay, this is out of my character, but I'm going to call her name, like yell. And so I yelled, like, oh, around. It could have been anybody, like, oh, Lord. And so I'm not going to say when she turned around, like, you know, you look just like India Ari. Why did I say that?
I love it, though.
And so she just said, I thought that I knew you, but I'm glad that I turned around and met you. How are you doing? I was like, oh, my gosh, you're so amazing. So when I told her that, you know, years later, she's like, I remember. I was,
wow. That's the best, right? Right, Jarrell? That's the best.
It's crazy.
I remember.
It's like, I remember. I'm like, girl, I don't care if you do remember or not. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Wait, I gotta hear the moment with the vocal Bible, because if you loved Brandy since 9 and you got to meet her, I think you even gave her a picture or something like.
This is back when I was doing shoes. That's a while back, and I think she had a show here in Atlanta, and I had a good friend of mine. I was like, yeah, I gotta meet Brandy. Like, I gotta meet her. And so she was like, okay, we're gonna figure this out. And so I had some shoes that I look back on now and I'm like, Lord, those are the worst things ever. Please don't show anybody. But at the time, I thought they were everything. So I went to the backstage where the security were, and I was like, security, I have a gift for Brandy Norwood. And they were like, and so I was like, here, look at the bag. They were like, go on, brother.
So they thought they was dope too.
They thought they were dope. And so when she came off stage, she hugged me like she knew me. And I'm like, if you know me, that I really don't really get, I kind of hold swag a lot. You know, I'm pretty cool. I was like, huh?
I love it. I love it.
So bad I couldn't even get a real picture with the girl. The picture that I have is the back of my head. I'm like, you know what? You know,
but you had that moment. You had that moment. You actually met the person that you just loved for so long and gifted her something from your talent.
I don't care what she did with them. I don't care if she threw them at the wall. I don't care if she left them in the concert hall. I don't care. I'm meeting you, and this is it. And then years later, she's like, thank you for, you know, making me a legend. You know, I appreciate that. And paying homage to me, you know, boom. And I'm like,
boom, bam.
In my mind, yeah. So,
I love that. I love that. I think you did 2 pieces. There was one with Whitney and one with Brandy.
Yeah.
I love that.
I have to pay homage to my life.
I see. I wish Stevie Wonder could see what you did to him. It's so dope.
You know what? Somebody commented, I think somebody is like, man, I hope Stevie can see that. No, you know what? First of all, y'all already trying to make me go to hell because y'all know my mouth is crazy. Why would you say something like that?
Well, I want to talk about. I mean, I'm sure. I don't know how it works, but because you got an Etsy shop. Like, how much is these tables worth? Like, let people know to say they money, they coins.
Well, first of all, I just appreciate everybody collecting. I love them. I thank you for that. Shout out to all of my followers that are collectors. They range between $400 and $600, depending on the piece.
Mm-hmm.
Really isn't a set price point for me to do them. It kind of what my heart leads me, like, okay, this is worth blah blah blah. So, but they started that, but that's just a legend table. I still have all of my range of artworks from my table, paintings, prints, and different things of that nature. So they're all on my shop, and you can just go and support Black art.
What about jackets? You say you gifted T-Bows with a jacket, like
that's coming.
Yeah, you said it's coming. Yeah,
it's a surprise. It's coming soon.
It's coming soon. Look, breaking news. Okay, I didn't got a scoop.
Get a scoop. Yeah, it's a surprise that's coming very, very soon, and I try not to do anything half-assed. So hopefully, when y'all see this, you'll be like, okay.
Yeah, nice. I mean, I just like, what is your vision for the future? Like, you know, what would be like the perfect 5-year goal from now? Where do you see yourself as a Black artist? I mean, you viral now, but like, where do you see yourself? You know, Obama was once just a senator, okay?
Right. But you know what? It's crazy that I try not to have long-term plans like that anymore. I learned my lesson. Somebody said, you want to make God laugh, show me your plans.
Yeah.
I try to make God laugh a lot. Like, because that's not going to happen. So 5 years, I'm just going to let God lead me.
Yeah. I love that.
You know, I didn't plan this. I didn't plan anything that's happening. So I figure if my non-planning is working out,
mm-hmm. you gonna go with that. Well, you know what I'm saying? You could be like, I want to open a museum. I want to, you know what I'm saying? I want to do a mural on.
I think I know my limitations. I'm great talking to you virally. That's amazing. But in person, I am very shy.
Oh, so you're an introvert?
I am the definition of an introvert. To new people. Once you get to know me, I can't shut up. Yes, but
I can see the shyness. I can see it.
Yeah, I'm a third.
I can see it.
I'm the last child. I'm very much an introvert, very quiet. Even to this day, you know, it's not hard. It's just I want to look back and just take my time and assess the people out there, because there's some fools out there.
Lots of them. Lots of them.
I'm extremely cautious of my energy, and you know because you never know who's trying to do what.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I feel honored that you said yes to doing an interview with me, now knowing that you're an introvert.
Well, thank you.
At least the people you don't know, and we don't know each other.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. And I hope I didn't make a fool of myself on this show.
Oh, please. I'm just happy that they get to hear your voice. Like, you know. I
am too. So now they know that I can actually talk. I actually have sound coming out of here.
And what is your process like of creativity? Like, do you listen to music while you paint? Does it take you 2 months to do a project? Like,
you know what? I can't hide from saying it, but it does not take me long at all to create. I try to stay away from long-term projects. If I think of something, I'm like, that's going to take a couple days, then that's not going to get done, because I'm not a couple day type of person. Most of my creativity, my process is in my brain. I will literally think of a piece probably about a week or two before I actually physically touch anything that's either supplies or anything. I would think about it, because my brain is my palette. Most of the time I don't even sketch what I do. It's just all in my head first. So, it doesn't take me that long. And as far as actually, it's crazy. I listen to Judge Judy episode.
This is exclusive, y'all. He listened to the Judge Judy while you painting. I love it.
Judge Judy, and I watch Ridiculousness, because most of the time that I'm creating is very, very late at night. So ridiculousness is on, and I'm just
every hour on MTV. Like, it's their whole programming guide.
And now it's like my favorite show. I'm like,
how long does those tables take? Like, how long does it take to do one of those tables?
Not that long. It takes me maybe 5 or 6 hours tops to actually physically paint, because I like to paint fast. The drying part, the molding part, the curing part takes the longest. I can't really do anything with that. And that's about it. Once it cures, and there it is.
Somebody said, when will you start shipping to Canada?
When, like, this COVID thing we got.
It ain't went away, y'all. It's still a pandemic.
I appreciate all of my international followers and fans. I love y'all. It's very hard as a creative shipping, period. Just period, non-pandemic. But this Ponderosa that we got going on now, like, you can barely get into FedEx. You got to wear the mask. You got to limit your pieces. So it's very hard shipping to U.S. customers, even though we pan through it. But as far as international shipping, once all of this is cleared, I would love to ship internationally. I used to in the past. I love my pieces that went to Japan and went to Israel, and all of that is just blowing my mind. So to let, especially all of my African supporters, that's it. You know, my pieces too. Yes. But, you know, as soon as we, figure out what's going on here, then y'all definitely will get it.
Yes, yes. And I love, you had said something about people asking me, do I get tired of painting Black people?
Stop listening to what I'm saying, because half the time I'm a fool. No, I do not get tired of painting people. And you were touching on it earlier, once the perils of being an artist, and I'm speaking on Black art, people have this expectation of Black artists, and that we're supposed to do what they want us to do. Nobody was asking Michelangelo, when you gonna paint some Black people? So why, try me, when can I make the legend tables more broader?
Exactly. I think there was like a viral clip going around with Toni Morrison when they asked her, why don't you write about white people? And she's like, do you know that's the most racist thing that you could ever say?
It really, and the fact that they don't know that it's racist, but have the audacity, as my mama would say, to open your mouth and say, and let them come out, And being a Black artist, we've gotten our fair share of that. Why can't you do this, or why can't you do that, or because I don't want to.
I love it. And thank God for people like you who are painting our icons and the motherland.
It's necessary that we not only pay homage to these people, but to keep them in the forefront, because with the way the society is going now, our culture is being so uprooted, and we're giving so much of it away because a lot of us don't really understand that it's a sacred thing. That barbecue is really sacred. I can't
come on now.
All folks into the barbecue. So when they give out invitations to the cookout and whatnot, it's like
at random.
Oh yeah, he down with the he doesn't like I do, so he can't do that. So to uphold our culture is something that is necessary, because 20 years from now, 30 years from now, 50 years from now, will our children know, where rap started? will they know who was the greatest R&B singer of the night? Will they know the best movies of, the best Black movies ever? Will they know not only that, but our artifacts and our kings and queens of our culture and our past? They won't know that because our culture keeps getting so taken away from us. So I feel like it's my job as a creative to memorialize.
I love that. I love that because we need that. Who doesn't remember the opening scene to Good Times with the painting?
That was me. That was my first, oh, he's an artist? Oh.
I was going to ask you who influenced you, like Good Times influenced you.
Yeah, good. That's crazy enough because my middle name is Jay. I won't tell you what it is, but I felt that synergy of JJ, and I'm like, oh, and he's an artist, so I saw myself, skinny Black boy, that can, and I'm like, oh, he's successful. I can kind of do that. And then I think another one was crazy enough, Whitley Gilbert, off of A Different World.
What?
She was an art curator. She's an art buyer.
Yes, her character. Yes, the job she got
exactly
at the museum, and
and it's just little things that I have to grasp from, and other creatives, Black creatives, have to grasp from because we don't have that much. We don't have that. You don't see Black artists walking. We're there now. We're there, but as far as the mainstream, you don't really see it. So,
so you saw those things at the Cosby Show, like you would notice the art.
The mural of Mother, I think it's Mother Hale in the background. Notice that on the opening scenes and all the artwork. One person that I love is Yvette Lee Browser, who created Living Single and helped out with A Different World. And all of the Black art, that go back and look at those shows, just all the Black art that they had around their wall, like it just wasn't anything. Like, oh, I'm ordering an African vase. And you're like,
what?
We don't like that.
And then for you to grow up and create those things that you once saw.
So yeah, it's all full circle. Full circle.
Yes. Are there any artists that you look up to?
Well, my number one, of course, is probably Basquiat. He was a Black artist, and he made it into the mainstream, and he didn't dumb himself down to become more palatable. So people were literally asking him, can you please make sense of these paintings because we don't know what the hell they mean. That wouldn't have been, that wouldn't have been his style. And he made it to the mainstream, made it to the forefront, literally being himself, and maintained his locks, maintained all of his looks, having to Europeanize himself for anybody because he didn't.
Come on now.
So when I saw that he didn't give a damn, I don't have to give a damn. So,
thank you. Yes. Somebody said, when will your art be back on sale?
Oh, this afternoon when I release my next tape.
Hello, he on it. He before the question. He already got a date time.
Appreciate it. So hopefully you'll like this one that I premiered this today.
Before he premiered, look at all these exclusives. All of these exclusives here. That's what I'm talking about. I love it. I love it. Is there I don't know, is there somebody that you would love to do a piece for that you haven't, that has inspired influence?
Oh, what's crazy? I'm checking off the list of everybody as I keep creating different pieces. I'm checking off the list, and at first I was like, dang, am I really going to have enough people to go around? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to have enough people to go around because there's so many. I'm trying to say this statement without giving away who I'm about to do because I have suggestions, but I have my own long extended list. But as far as people having to actually have my physical work in their home, just besides my loving supporters and collectors, I definitely want Swiss Beats, because what he's done for Black art, a lot of people don't realize. The whole art festival that he has in Miami, Art Basel, that's just him. because he loved art.
Wow. Just because he loves art.
He just loves art, and particularly Black art. He loves it, and he's loved it for. I remember way back when I had a Twitter, and I was doing shoes. That's back when I was tweeting, which I don't tweet anymore. But he DM'd me, was like, "Hey, bro, send me and Alicia some shoes," and I was like,
"No,
okay." So just his love for our culture. That's somebody that I would love to give back to. The Carters, since we're related somehow.
I could see your art in their place. I could see your art right on Beyonce's wall.
Hey, babe, how to twin? Yeah. I'm gonna figure it out.
Yes, that's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Look, especially since you got this mom vibe, you're gonna be talking to Tina, Miss Tina. My bad.
I can't cook, but what's up?
Yes. I mean, well, I just feel like so blessed and honored because this is not even like, this is just the beginning. It might not be your beginning because you started way back there, but it is the beginning because social media, like, it's going to take, this is just the beginning.
It's just the beginning. I appreciate this ride. I feel like it's going to be a long ride. Ready for it. I appreciate everybody that's been on the journey with me. And, as far as artists, come on to the social media wave. We need you. We love you.
Please give some advice. Please give Jarrell advice from 4 years ago. What would you say to Jarrell 4 or 5 years ago? And also make it palatable for those who are where you were 4 or 5 years ago.
Number one, like I said before, your business is going to be 20% creativity, 80% business management. And that means you really have to think outside the box. You have to think about who your customer is, how you can sell to that customer, how you can advertise to that customer. Don't be afraid of social media because social media is not only your friend, but your bread and butter. I'm sorry. People can talk about Instagram all they want to. Thank you, Instagram. I appreciate that.
Yes.
And definitely, just don't be afraid to market yourself. Find your niche between your creativity and definitely study business management and marketing. And that means if you have to go to YouTube University and look at tools of, other things that other artists have done that have been successful, do that. Because we're great creativity, that's wonderful, but it does not pay the bills and it doesn't mean a damn thing if nobody can see it.
Mm-hmm. And how quickly were you able to get the business of Jerell Gant together?
It took me a while, which is why I will tell anybody I love to give advice to anybody that wants to ask me any type of business questions. Mm-hmm. Feel free to ask me because it took a lot of misses because there was not anything that I could see that I could pattern myself at that I saw. Mm. So it took me a couple years to figure out, okay, this is what I should be doing. How I should work. Mm-hmm. These are the tools that I need, but it doesn't have to take you that long. So I might tell you how to create what I create. I'm not going to do that, but if you would like any type of business, I would definitely tell you because I don't want to see anybody fail and fall on their ass as hard as I did.
Right. But I mean, it must feel amazing that now you don't got to go to nobody's cubicle. You don't have to answer nobody's phone. Like, the lights are on because of you.
I was doing a lot worse than that, but yes. The job. I remember one job that I had that I was literally taking out trash. I had to work overnight. Matter of fact, I see one of my old coworkers in here, and
nice
to work overnight and take out the trash, and I could just see the trash that the place that I was at. I don't even want to give this thing a name. The place that I was at. We were overnight and we serviced to a myriad of people that you could think would come into your establishment at 3 a.m. So that means strippers, hookers, addicts, all above. And, the trash can was at their permanent disposal. So I was in charge of taking out the trash.
Oh my.
The trash and just seeing all of that. Like, okay, we got to get it together. We got to. It could have been for life. You know. It not shown me. Okay, this is what you do with your talent, bro. Because you're not seeing it. It could have been that I could still be doing that right now. Mm-hmm. So for me not to be doing that, I'm beyond thankful.
Well, thank you for sharing that, because I don't think when people see where you're at, they don't know where you've been, and they don't know how long it took to get where you're at. And I think it's important because it gives people more of a realistic view of the journey, you know, because it's not just about where you arrive at. It's every step that you have to take to get there.
Even as far back as for me going to college and not necessarily panning out to be what I wanted to be. You know, that's hard for me because, you know, at 18, which is looking back, you're like, okay, you were 18. Of course you're going to make mistakes. But at 18, I thought that I had it figured out. This is what I want to do. These are the steps that I'm going to go. I'm going to be on this runway. And when that did not happen, I was in a depression. You know, it hit me. And as creatives, I think it hits us a lot because we're not like I don't want to say the average people. We're not like everybody else. You know,
I feel that.
You know, in the sense of we're creative and this is what we want to do. How can this pay the bills? Because a mathematician can pay the bills, you know. Somebody else can pay the bills, but we can't because our service look at, oh, okay, that's beautiful, but I don't necessarily have it. So anybody that collects from me, anybody that purchases anything from me, I'm just floored and appreciative because they didn't have to do it. They didn't have to do that. You know, for you to want to use your disposable money on little old me.
But that's how you looking at you. That's not how we looking at you. Okay, we looking at you like, look at this amazing talent that this brother then put out, not one time, consecutively. You don't have one piece that we admire. You like, I think your last post, you had like, I was really upset that Whitney was on the last page, but you had a bunch of wonderful icons, but it was like, oh my gosh, I think it looked like it was 20 on each one.
It's a lot. It was a lot. I'm trying to cram. I'm just keep going. I can't stop as far as paying homage to it because people don't realize that as an artist, it's more than just mine. Like it's not me at all. These are all these.
I feel spirit in your stuff.
You know, just all these juices coming out. You know, like all the movies that I like to watch with the kid and all the videos. This all just coming out of me. So it's just giving back. That's it. Just full circle giving back.
Well, thank you. Thank you for contributing, not just in February. All year long. And I'm just wishing you more success, bigger platform,
Thank you
you
so
know, gallery views, Beyonce, you know, openings, just like Obama saying, Jerell, like, yes, I'm like, it just can't, just more abundance, manifest that like, because look where you are now, what you just talked about. So what I'm talking about is not far-fetched at all.
Thank you so much. And I want to thank you for highlighting people. I went to your page and you're highlighting all of it. Thank you. Because, you know, we're one of the same as far as highlighting our culture. It's not, that's the word of the interview people. Culture is just, you know, our culture can't be robbed, but it is very sacred. So, you know, thank you for trying to protect that and trying to spread the word about it.
Yes. Yes. It's my honor. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's my honor. You know why you look back and you be like, oh yeah, I was hanging out with W.E.B. Du Bois. It's Jerell Gant. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
15, look what's already happened. Just imagine a decade from now and you are operating at your optimum. Manifesting. You're dreaming, but God put his print on it.
Yeah.
Scott, listen, sky as the limit. That's not even the limit. That's just showing us how far we could even dream. Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
I love it. Yeah. I'm gonna end with Washington, D.C.'s own Donnie Simpson's quote.
Not Brown Donnie. What Donnie?
He said, shoot for the moon. And even if you miss, you still will be among the stars. And I feel like that's what all your art does. It's shining. It's among the stars. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times you hit that moon, though. So you ain't really missing a lot.
Y'all can't see the miss. I appreciate that, though. I'm just gonna receive it. I appreciate
Yes, just receive it. And I can't wait for them jackets to drop. I can't wait for those jackets to drop.
I said that. I know these people I'm working with gonna keep like,
exactly. Like, mum's the word. Mum's the word. We'll wait for the exclusive, but just the idea that it's coming. I got people gonna be so excited. I can just see it. I can see it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you for having me.
Have a great day, Jerell, and thank you so much for this Studio Q interview. Looking forward.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Studio Q show. Now you know.